Hi, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to talk to you about strokes versus shapes in vector files and how that relates to files that you bring into Cricut Design Space. I have Affinity Designer 2 pulled up here, but the stuff I'm going to talk about is relevant to any vector program. So whether you're using Illustrator or Inkscape or Affinity Designer or any other program, the principles are still going to be the same. So I'm going to start by just taking the pen tool and making a line here. Then you can see that there's a line and then there are nodes along that line. And I can draw another line, and I'll make this one be a smaller stroke. So I'll go like that. So now I have this thick line and this thin line, and they're both just single lines, which you can tell because if you go to the node tool and click on it, you just see one line with these anchor points along the line. If we just create this and bring it into Cricut Design Space, then I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So if I go to File, Export, and I'll just export it as an SVG, and I always uncheck Set View Box, and we'll do Save. And then I'm going to go over to Cricut Design Space and upload. And now when I add it to the canvas, you can see that they're both just lines and they don't have that thickness to them that we saw in Affinity Designer. The reason why that happens is because Cricut just doesn't recognize the thicknesses of the lines. But it makes sense why they don't, because they're seeing this as a single cut, or it could also be drawn with the pen. So it's basically the same as if you were to grab a line shape and it's just a single cut like that. That's the same thing. You could also change this to draw with a pen, just like you can with this one, and that'll get drawn. This format is great if you want to use the Cricut pen tool to draw something, then this is how you would do it. And I have a tutorial on that too, so I will link to it in the cards and in the description if you want to check it out. But now if we go back to Affinity Designer, if we take these and convert them to shapes, then we are just going to grab them and we're going to go to Layer, Expand Stroke. If you're using a different program, the options might be slightly different, but they all usually still say Expand Stroke. That's the terminology pretty much across all the vector programs, or it'll be something similar to that. So now that we have these expanded, if we click on our node tool, now you can see that the shape is outlined here. And you could actually like pull this out and adjust it. So it's actually a shape now. And same with the other one. So if we were to undo all my moving around to those nodes, then here we have our original lines, but they're still shapes because we converted them to shapes. So let's go ahead and export this. And now you can see that we actually have the thickness of the line here because it's not actually a line, it's a shape. Just like if you were to draw a circle or a heart or a cat, any of those, it's a shape. I'm going to change these to cuts, and then I'm just going to show you how it's going to come out on the mat. So let's just attach these so they don't shift around, and I'll click Make It. And here you can actually see where the cuts are. This wavy line and this wavy line, those are the first two we pulled in, and it's a single cut. And these two are the next two that we pulled in, and you can see that it's going to cut around the shape in both instances. The only reason you would ever really want just a line like this that's not converted to a shape is if you either want a cut like this that just is a single cut, or you want to use the draw function on your Cricut. But aside from that, anything that you're drawing, you're going to want to convert it to a shape. And that is how it's going to show up correctly in Design Space. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to go to Layer, Expand Stroke. And then just a couple other tips is that if you have a couple of them over each other, like this, your Cricut is going to cut both of them out. So if we select them and really zoom in, then you can see it's going to cut this part out, and that's going to be a hole, and it's going to fall out. You would want these to be one shape together, and the way you're going to do that is have them selected, and then you're going to click Add. And now they are one shape. Also, when you're dealing with text, so if you add some text here, and then you just export it, then this is going to be actual text and not a shape. And remember, Cricut Design Space likes shapes. If you actually try to import a design like this into Design Space, it's not going to work. So if I do export and then I go to Cricut Design Space and I try to upload it, it just gets stuck at this screen and it never passes it because it doesn't understand the text in the file. So if you have any text in your file, you're going to want to expand that into a shape as well. So the way you do that is you're just going to select it, and you're just going to go to Layer, Convert to Curves. And then one other thing that you'll probably want to do is you'll want these to be one shape. So that way in Design Space, it's going to be a single shape instead of separate letters. And I will show you that as well. So if I grab this and then duplicate it, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to ungroup it, because as you can see that it's a group and then there are all these things under it. So I'm just going to go to Layer, Ungroup, and now it's all these curves, and I'm going to combine them into one single shape. So I'm going to click this Add right here. So now we have this as a single shape, so it just says curves and it doesn't have any layers under it or anything. And then we have this one, which is a group with curves in it. So I'm going to show you how these come through as well. So let's do export. So here's that file, and as you can see, we have this one right here that is just a single cut, and it did kind of move position. So I'll just move it down here. And then the other one is a group of letters, and then here are the individual letters. That might be kind of annoying, like for a customer, if you're uploading this somewhere to sell, because if they click Make It, then the letters are going to be everywhere. So these are the letters from those grouped ones. And then as you can see, the one that was a shape is all together how it should be. So that is why after you convert your letters to curves, you'll also want to ungroup the letters and then combine it all into one shape using Add. So that is all for this lesson. I hope this was helpful and cleared up any questions about strokes and shapes. I know that I use that terminology in my videos a lot, so I just wanted to make sure I had kind of like an intro video just to explain what I'm talking about in those videos. If there's anything else that you would like to learn about creating vector files for Cricut, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.